Hi, this is Ushio and welcome back to Angels with Scaly Wings. We're working our way through the Requiem mod. We're still on chapter 3. I've only just started editing the videos, so in my mind I'm also on chapter 1, but I think I'm also where we are now, which is... hang on, let me look. Where are we? We are on chapter 3. There we go. I can pay attention. So in the last part, legit, we actually hung out with Naomi and Adine. So Adine didn't crash, Naomi saved her, and hopefully everything will be okay. There'll be no more, accidents. We don't want that. But let's go hang out with Remy. How you doing? Let's go to the park. Hey. Hello. Is there any particular reason why you wanted to meet here? I enjoy the park, so have you been here before? A lot, actually. It's surprising how often I pass by this place. Right. I bet you also came here a lot in the previous timelines as well. You got that right. Well, what do you think of it? It's pretty idyllic or romantic. Idyllic. It is. I like it here a lot. Just don't look underneath that grill on the floor there. There might be some kind of awful thing that is hidden down there. Like an Ipsimum sphere or something. You mentioned you wanted to talk to me about something. About that. I just got a lot on my mind, and I felt like I needed to tell someone. I wouldn't burden you if I had anybody else to talk to, but the simple fact is that I don't. Hey, you can talk to me. Thanks, I appreciate that. It's no problem. What's on your mind? I don't even know where to begin. Did you ever feel like there's an emptiness inside you? That every day is the same joyless routine that you wish you could escape but can't? Every time I lost someone I cared about, especially her. I see. Is this about Emma again? Well, not just about her, but working with her doesn't make things easier. To think that just a few years ago I was the happiest I could have been. Now I've got nothing but my miserable life. But I bet you already know about all of that since, You're free to tell me to get it off your chest. Maybe there's something I haven't heard before from you this time. We have a lot of time. Okay, well. Let's hear it. A few years ago, I worked in the public sector. I mean, I still do, but my position was a different one. I didn't work under a minister back then. I was part of a committee tasked with providing independent and factually backed opinions on community topics. It was supposed to help not only politicians, but also the general populace. Free from outside interference, we did our own fact-checking based on research and publicly reported our findings. Our individual members didn't always agree, but we made sure the end results were based on verifiable facts. In this way, we offered a variety of comprehensive opinions on difficult topics. We found the truth, and allowed people and politicians to make up their minds from there. Our work was a key influence in the community, and because the conclusions of each individual member were often very different, it could never be said that we were biased. It was during one such assignment that I met a certain person named Amelia. We're going to get the Amelia backstory today. My task was to determine the viability of several projects, each competing for a research grant from our council. Amelia was a member of one of the scientific teams vying for a grant. She was an inventor, and her group was looking for ways to streamline hospital processes and tests by utilising new technology. The first time I saw her was when our committee watched her group's pitch. One of the things we had to do was determine whether their claims and goals were realistic. In her case, they were. Ultimately, they didn't get the grant, but when she recognised me in a restaurant a while later, we started talking. She was very smart, and I admired her spirit. She just wanted to help people with her talents, and in this way, she reminded me a lot of myself. We kept seeing one another, and we grew close, and before long we were dating, and it felt so right. I thought our relationship was about to become very serious, but then she informed me that her research group had applied for another grant. Of course it complicated things. My committee was once again tasked with judging the viability of the different projects, and while I intended to stay impartial on the matter, she would probably be seen as an influence due to our relationship. With these concerns in mind, we decided not to meet again until the grant winner was determined. We hadn't expected her group to get it, but in the end, they did. We didn't want to end our relationship over something like that, but if word got out that we were together during the decision-making process, it would have put both our jobs in jeopardy. In the end, we decided to wait and made a commitment. 6 months after the grant was given to her team, we would return to one another and make our relationship public. That much time would have ensured that it wouldn't be an issue. We even made plans to move in together when that time came. But we never got that far. I only know the rest of what happened from various reports. But apparently Amelia got sick. Nothing serious, mind you. She continued working from home as best as she could. The project was already behind schedule, and she didn't want to endanger it. People were critical and very curious about what the project would amount to, and she didn't want to be responsible for its failure if she took some days off to recuperate. So every day she continued working on the project until the dead of night. One late evening, she went out to pick up her medication, in addition to something to help her stay awake, but she was sick and overworked. The combination of the prescription side effects and the supplements caused her to collapse, and nobody was around to see her fall. She was found the next day, and she was covered by a blanket of fresh snow. It was too late. She froze to death during the cold winter night. If someone was with her, this wouldn't have happened. But she died out there, all alone. All because we kept our relationship a secret. We had plans to move in together. We even talked about having our own small family. Some things are just not meant to be, it seems. If I had to identify the moment life started going downhill, losing Amelia would be it. My heart was ripped out at that moment, and now only emptiness remains. It's like a wound that never closes. You mentioned those pictures in my apartment. Even my home is a reminder of her. We were going to move into that apartment together. And this tie I'm wearing, I got it from her as well. When she gave it to me, she said that it was red like her scales. As long as I wore it, she would be with me in a way. For so long, I've been holding on to her with all my might. I wish I could stop, because I know it's killing me, but I've been doing it for so long that I don't think I can. Yet in some way, holding on to Amelia's helped me. When I look back on all the happy memories that we made, Emma's bullying hurts a little less, if only because those memories hurt so much more. And I'd love my job if it wasn't for Emma. It's a constant struggle, a battle I have to fight every day. Each of her words slices through me, creating new wounds on top of others that never closed, except yesterday. Something changed about her yesterday, and I can't quite put my claw on what, but she began apologising for her actions. There's so much she's said, so much she's done, and it just feels like it's too little, too late. Some days, I just don't want to do it anymore. I don't know how much longer I can. It's a sad Remy. But we know we can help him as much as we can. I'm not sure if there's anything that can fill this void. I close my eyes and take a deep breath. I think it's time I told you a few things. You did say during our dinner that you know things I wouldn't believe even if you told me. That you needed time? Is it? After a deep sigh and steeling myself, I turn toward Remy with a look in my eye that can speak 1,000 words. You're not alone. What do you mean by that? Remember back last time when we had that argument about Anna? Yeah, I'm still sorry for what I said. In a sense, I don't hold it against you. What I'm about to tell you might irreversibly damage whatever slight modicum of pity you have for her, but you do have a right to know the truth. Where are you going with this? Back in the previous timeline, you, me, Adine, Lorraine Bryce, and even Anna, we came together to stop Reza, who was essentially by that point a serial killer. I had to recruit all 5 of you to assist me in stopping him, and Anna set some records straight about what she'd done in the past, airing out all her dirty laundry in front of us, so we could focus on what was important instead of her. When Amelia died, she received her remains for autopsy. By then, she'd received the diagnosis of her having cancer and had grown incredibly desperate to find a cure by any means necessary. I still don't see how these two are connected. She was looking into stem cell research if I recall correctly, but the point is, Anna recovered some egg cells from Amelia's body. She was pregnant. What? Using an artificial eggshell, she began experimenting on those cells, managing to save the life of one of them. grafting her DNA into the cells to create a hybrid dragon that's immune to cancer, so she could later make a cure out of that ability and save many lives. But since the council denied her research, and she began doing her experiments before receiving word that she'd been denied, she was investigated. She had to get rid of the egg, as she'd never been pregnant before, and obviously a quick analysis would have shown that things aren't as they seem. Nevertheless, the egg survived, and even if the hatching that lives is half a clone of Anna's, she's also half you and Amelia's child. What? I could see the emotions and rage burning through his eyes. I think he's about to explode. What do you do? How could you ever date someone who would do such a thing? Remember, she was desperate. That doesn't justify desecrating the body of my fiancé and meddling with the life of an unborn child. I know, and I'm fully aware of both the implications and the morality problems of her actions in the past. But on the other hand, you have a half-daughter that still yet lives. Where is she? I take another deep breath. Speak to Adine. Adine? I don't want to talk to her. Why not? She used to be my friend. Well, she was more Amelia's friend than mine. Why can't you talk to her? I don't know. I don't want to face her. Whenever I see her, it's another reminder of what I've lost. Besides, I don't think she wants to talk to me either. Remember the other day she tried to talk to you? Only because she wanted something. But what does she have to do with my daughter anyway? Unwittingly and unknowingly, she's been taking care of her this entire time as a volunteer at the orphanage. She knows a lot more about her than I do. She can take you to her, introduce you, and help you make a good first impression. But you have to speak to her first, for both of your sakes. I know for a fact she wanted to reconnect with you. If you want to change something, Remy, you have to take action. What's the worst that could happen if you talk to her? I suppose you have a point. The hatchling's name is Amely, by the way. Take a few minutes to sort through your feelings and thoughts before going, though. If you go like the nervous wreck you are, it's not going to be pretty. Thank you. You're right. I really should pull myself together. Remy paused and gave me an embarrassed smile. How many times did we have this conversation? About your past with Amelia? I can't even remember. About me telling you about your daughter? This is the first. And you know why. I guess I do. I can hardly believe it, but I want to believe you. All this time, and the topic was entirely about me so far. There must be a lot on your mind too. Much like you, just going through the days like a tired old routine, and not knowing how much longer you can hold on. I do feel quite the same. I've watched all of you die so many times, only to forget when I try again. But despite everything I trudge along this blood-stained path carved out for me by Reza and his actions, seeing Anna die in the last timeline broke me on the level that almost got me just to end it all. The only thing that kept me going is knowing that I could try again with the portal, but even that just felt like a shallow, hollow way to delay the inevitable. I've saved all of you, and she still died. I still can't believe you'd love someone like her after all she's done, though. She's repented for her sins 1,000-fold already. She jumped in front of me to shield me from Reza's bullets, or tackle me out of the way, only to die by cancer a few months later. Yeah, but you gotta be apologising to Remy the one you wronged. That is, if she even lived long enough to survive until the confrontation. Only now do I realise that everything I told you earlier must seem so petty compared to the struggles that you face. Don't say that. Why not? It's not how it works. That's like saying a person can't be happy because somebody else might be happier than them. Don't downplay your own suffering like that. That kind of thinking only makes it worse. Thanks. I can't even imagine what life must be like where you're from. That you would repeat the same cycle of days over and over again just to make our home better. Back home, I was just trying to survive and help others do the same. In every other timeline, I'd tell you that even if I don't have to go back, I would. I just can't let them down like that, you know? That I have to try and do what I can. That's why I came here. But not anymore, and it's just too precious to me to abandon like that. I wish I could be that strong. Who says you can't? I don't know, just, you have to be, for your daughter's sake. Right. You told me about your old job too. Yeah, I miss those days, but what about it? It's not exactly the same as saving a city, but you were helping people, right? True. Maybe once your term with Emma is over, you could do something like that again. I really wish I could. Could I ask you a question? Sure. Do you even like me? There must be a reason why you've put up with me for this long, especially after how much I've attacked your girlfriend. What are you talking about? Do you consider me a friend or what? Ooh, as a friend? I like you as a brother, yeah. Is that so? In that case, well, the summer festival's coming soon. It's an event we hold in town every year. They've got fireworks and all kinds of shows. It might be fun for you to experience a different part of our culture. What do you say? Would you like to accompany me? I'd love to, but I can't promise I won't have other obligations at the time. I see. Well, I'll call you, and we'll see if we can work it around our schedules. Sure. Then it's settled. I probably should get going now and speak to a dean though, and thanks for hearing me out. Yeah, if you're friends, then sometimes if you have an argument, you kinda go your separate ways. If you're family and you have an argument, now you're sticking through it. And thanks for telling me about Amely. Go get her. That's it. You want that happy ending. You want that family life. Another day down. Things are looking to be on the up and up. Here's hoping Remy is going to be a good father to Amely in this timeline. It feels great to have finally seen the Dean's routine without things going haywire, and the diving with Naomi was pretty good too. Sebastian was a good sport as well. I should hang out with him more sometime. I flopped down in my bed, not even bothering to remove my clothes, as I felt like every day makes me increasingly more exhausted. Within minutes, I was once more hauled off to dreamland. Gotta get that nap, get your sleeps, and it's a fresh morning. I felt like I was sweating bullets by the morning, with many vivid dreams flashing through my head over the night. Dreams of war, dreams of liars, dreams of dragon's fire. I flop out of bed and quickly move to the bathroom to clean myself up before preparing to face yet another day. And with that, time to meet with someone. Hold on, message on the phone? Who dis? Oh, it's a dean. Remember what we talked about concerning Remy and Amely? Well, I'd like for you to come over and be present when we're having that discussion. I know this also concerns Anna, so I really hope I can count on you here. Of course you can count on me, Dean. Well, I guess that's what we should be doing then. Adine. She summoned us up. Let's go. So we're going straight into the whole here's your daughter thing. Here we go. Knock knock. Just a minute. Hey, oh you look down, what's up? You seem a bit glum. After what you told me about Remy and Amely, how could I not be? To think she's his biological daughter, and is only alive because Anna turned her into a chimera. Wait, chimera? Just because I work minimum wage at a cafe doesn't mean I'm uneducated. Come to think of it, we never ever talked about that as far as I know. There's not much to talk about. Well, I did go into higher education. I never got myself a degree because none of the subjects I pursued kept my interest. Two of those things my parents were trying to force down my throat, while the third one was just a disappointment to me in the end. Also, if you haven't got the money, you can't really afford to go into higher education sometimes. I tried aerodynamics, but it was just about learning the boring mathematics behind flying instead of actually learning how to fly better. So it didn't keep your interest because it didn't actually help you with your stunt aspirations. And then my parents kicked me out when I finally put my claw down and told them what I really wanted. Sub-parents they turned out to be. Don't even remind me. Either way, it doesn't matter anymore. What does matter is that people underestimate how much I actually know just because I work at a dead-end job. That's not what I was trying to imply. Adine, I just never heard the term chimera be used to describe Amely before. Oh, well, I read about the term back in my university days, and it really does fit Amely if we think about it. You can tell me on the way to Remy's place, and you can cheer up a bit while we do, okay? I just don't think she'd like to see her favourite aunt be so downcast. Did I say something stupid again? No, it's just memories. Amelia used to say the same thing before she, I understand. You don't have to recount the whole story if it hurts that much. She really meant a lot to both of you and Remy, didn't she? Come on, chin up. I'll try. So, have you spoken to Remy yet? Yes, I have. Most of what he told me made my head hurt, but as I mulled it over, it started to make sense. And how much do you actually believe about it? Well, more than I'd like to admit. So, you really are a time traveller from the future, here to save Anna's life? Well, not just hers. Last time we talked I did mention her. Right, that you prevented him from committing suicide. So, who else are you trying to prevent from dying? You? Wait, me? I just silently nod. What do you mean, me? Remember last time at the beach that I told you to be careful, and Naomi screamed for you to pull up? Yeah, what about it? Did you feel any strange phantom pains in your wing that weren't really there? No way. Yeah, that's it. In other timelines, whatever that mess of tangled junk Naomi found would go unnoticed, and your foot would get caught up in it, causing you to crash and injure yourself before the competition. You probably had a weird nightmare last time and your wing seized up, and you plummeted from the sky, breaking your neck. Am I right? How? How could you? You really are from the future. You're insanely lucky Naomi was there to prevent it from happening last time. Every other time, you'd have to drop out of the competition on the day of it to avoid dying. I have to argue with you about how there's always next year, and how you don't want to make excuses. And I also have to annoy you with mentioning Amely or the orphans. You always get so angry with me when I did because it's emotional blackmail. She just sighs so heavily. I wonder if I should bother with this at all, if that's the case. If you say I don't participate in every other timeline, it has to be for a reason. Hey, don't think like that. You avoided injury this time. Many other dragons would be dead by now, and are still alive and better than ever. Maybe this is a sign that fate can be changed after all. What I do want you to consider is that maybe Angel's special is a bit too risky, and he might want to tweak the routine a bit to be more safe. I suppose you're right. I can't just recklessly throw my life away like this, after I just reconnected with Remy, and after finally seeing Amely get a new home. It really is a miracle, though. What is? Up until this cycle, I don't recall ever spending time with Naomi. Heck, I didn't have a single memory of what she even looked like. And then she shows up in this one, remembers a lot of things that I can't, and helps me actually save you from your injury. If that isn't a miracle, I don't know what is. I see your point. And I think you're right. I do need to tweak my finishing routine to be more safe. Despite my dreams, I just can't throw my whole life away for them, not when I've got people depending on me. I've got a few ideas I'm going to need to test out, and hopefully if they work out, it will improve my chances. I hope so too. And now we're at Remy's. Not long after we finished our discussion, Adine and I arrived. Hopefully it's going to be not awkward. Come in, doors open. Sit. Oh wow, everyone's here already. Here we are. Hey, hey. Good to see you two. I'm glad you could join us. Yeah, Amely, right in there. She all hype. Amely immediately rushed to Adine and jumped at her, who easily caught her with her wing-like arms. Looks like Amely does this to her on the regular. Good to see you too, Amely. Adine puts the little hatchling down and gently pats her head. The little girl immediately makes strange trills I don't think I've ever heard from a dragon before. Wow, I didn't know dragons could make a sound like that. Well, it's a sign of affection amongst us. You guys get all the cool abilities. I heard Anna purr. Amely's making trills. Adine can growl. Growl. Adine growled at you. Well. When he told me Amely's origins, I might have gotten a little angry in the moment. I wasn't exactly growling at him, but zoom. I definitely growled. Speaking of Amely. Oh, get back here. She got that speed. Looks like she's getting impatient. Come back here, Missy. I'm not asking nicely a third time. Looks like Remy knows how to be stern. That's a good sign. Boundaries are important for hatchlings. There we go. We should probably get going and discharge some of that energy she's built up. I agree. Has she been to many places while you were taking care of her, Adine? Not really. Most of the time we spent our hours together in my apartment. With my work schedule and load, it's really hard to keep an eye on her out in the open alone. But hopefully that can change now. Here's hoping. Right, let's go for a walk. We left Remy's apartment, going for a walk through the town while the weather was nice. Looks to be pretty warm today. Yeah, it's been a somewhat heavy summer all around. I agree, if this keeps up, we might need some kind of help to stay cool in the hottest hours. Which reminds me, is there an ice cream vendor nearby? Oh, you mean old Katsuharu? I do believe he's still in business, but I haven't seen his cart around these days. Wait, Katsuharu? Doesn't that dragon owe me ice cream in another timeline and another mod? I think I saw an ice cream cart in Tatsu Park recently. I wonder when he moved there. It could be one of those memories. Really? Are you saying you've met him in other timelines before? At least one. If my memory serves, he'd be stuck in a muddy puddle around last night otherwise. Then after, he promised me some ice cream the next time we met. I gave him the idea to move to Tatsu Park because apparently he's near bankruptcy. Wait, bankruptcy? Yeah, something about gambling away his life savings or something, and he has no heir to the work. Anyway, it's a big old mess, so if he's in Tatsu Park already, then he definitely remembers at least something of that timeline. Or the cart's still in the ditch, I don't know. Considering how many people go around that place every day, I'm not surprised he picked that spot. Or you'd pick that spot. Yeah, it's one of the busiest spots in town, due to it being close to all the services and the political district. True, it would make for a perfect sales spot. There's a reason about half of my deliveries go there every day after all. Me bored, can we go now? You heard her. Yep, let's get going. That's it. Katsuharu, where are you? In order to avoid an energetic hatchling running off on us, we double-timed our trip to Tatsu Park. Unsurprisingly, a day as hot as this made it so the park's busiest junction is clogged up by dozens of dragons, all in line to get some icy refreshments. We got in line ourselves, Adine making sure Amely was busy the whole time. There's a whole queue here. Okay, the line was pretty slow, so we had to take extra measures to keep the little girl busy, so eventually I had to tag in and play with Amely, who was far more interested in trying to get a bite out of me more than anything. Eventually, I had to settle on trying to hold her muzzle shut like I would a crocodile's, hoping against hope that her bite force doesn't translate to her jaw's opening strength. It was a futile effort. Or is she gonna bite you? That's enough, young lady. Hey, are you okay? Luckily, her sharp teeth barely punctured my skin, and our yelling got her to back off. It seems Yen's stern voice worked like a charm. I'll manage. I think we're going to need some ice though. Hold on, my apartment's nearby. I can go get some bandages real quick. I don't think it's... Adine nudged me in the back with her tail. She's obviously overreacting to teach Amely a lesson. Oh, yeah, I get it. Actually, yeah, that might be a good idea. It's starting to bleed. I'll be right back then. Remy, could you hold our spot in line? Yeah, make it quick. That's it, teach that lesson. You can't keep biting people, Amely. Humans like Ushia are fragile. Yeah, I'm a fragile guy. Fragile? Fragile. They hurt easily. Look, he's bleeding. You've seen people hurt before, right? Sorry. That's better. Now, make sure not to hurt people like that again. Promise? Promise. The hatchling offered one of her tiny hands to me as an apologising handshake. I mean, there's no way I could resist those wide sparkling eyes like that. I took Amely's tiny hand with my free unbitten one and gave it a gentle shake. While this was going on, we steadily made our march forward along with the rest of the line. Soon enough, Adine came back with a smaller bandage than the one that she normally makes me put on her shoulder after her usual crash, and she helps wrap the bite mark up. I hope it doesn't get infected. She brushes her teeth regularly, I'm making sure of that. Okay, how's that? Thanks. We get back in line properly, while Remy and Amely were keeping our spot. The line was surprisingly slow, and by now there were dozens more behind us. though most of the onlookers were more interested in the mythical human at this point. We got so distracted by the crowd, we didn't even notice that I bumped into someone from behind. Hey, quit shoving me, ya! Oh, Anna. Ushio, oh, this is awkward. What are you doing here? It's the whole gang. What does it look like I'm doing? I'm on my break, trying to get some ice cream before everybody else empties the cart out. And judging by the gaggle of dragons behind you, you're doing the same. Magnificent deduction skills you got there. I wish I had a trophy, but I kinda left it back in my world. Wow, good one. Well then, whom did you bring along with the stand? As soon as Anna saw the hatchling standing between Adine and Remy, her scales went pale. I didn't even think she was capable of doing that. Hello, Anna. Remy, fancy seeing you here of all places. And I see you've also brought Adine and a kid with you. Yes, I have. And all I have to say is that I forgive you. For what? For everything. I don't think this is a conversation for a busy park while the five of us are waiting in line for ice cream, but once we're done, I wouldn't mind a bit of a talk with you, one-on-one. Alright, fine. Having joined us, Anna turned around and pulled me closer to herself in front of everybody, essentially letting the four of us cut the line to be next to her. Well, she was only one spot ahead, as the previous two patrons who were in front of me seemed to have run off for some kind of emergency, so it's not much of a cut. Still, it felt nice to be near her, and that didn't go unnoticed by the others. Well, Remy does know that we're going out. I made a motion to brush my hand against Anna's, making her grab mine without hesitation. You still owe me, by the way? I know, haven't forgotten. Good, I've got some surprises in store for you. Oh, I can hardly wait. As I rolled my eyes, her smirk only deepened. Giving way to concern, I tried my best to hide. Idly and without thinking, I gently ran my thumb along the knuckles of her scaly fingers as we slowly inched forward along the line. Wow, Katsuharu's lines aren't usually this slow. There's something going on up there. Apparently, almost a dozen or so construction workers are suffering from heat stress, so one of the workers had to cut the line to get some plain ice a few minutes ago. I hope they're okay. If my memory serves right, they should get the ice they need in time. In fact, I do believe the old dragon also gives the one asking for the ice an extra cup. You're not even trying to hide it anymore. I mean, all the adults among us know about this by this point. This way we can keep an eye out to see if what I'm saying stays consistent. I think I see him. 9, 10, 11 cups. Almost a dozen, like you said, Anna. And one for the helper. Zoom. And right on cue, as we were talking about him, he whizzes past us with an incredible speed, running toward the nearby construction site. I barely saw who that was. Who was that? Maybe I'll screenshot it. That is one urgent emergency. You can say that again. Finally, after all that time, it was our turn. Yo. Well, if it isn't our resident celebrity scientist, and you've also brought with you a human, I see. Today's just full of surprises, right? What can I get for you two? Us five, the family behind me is with us too. Remy, good to see you're in good health. Hey Katsuharu, sorry I couldn't stop by for the past few months. Life's been busy, as you can tell. Yes, though you in particular look much better for wear than the last time I saw you. And I see you got a child with you as well. Yeah, I've adopted her not too long ago, and it was the best decision of my life. It's at this point I saw Amely rub the side of her snout against Remy's leg. Ah, it's adorable. Probably snot coming out too. Have you guys decided what to order though? I'll stick to my classic. Vanilla scoop of plain wafer cone then. What else? I think I'll try the frozen banana flambe. Oh, daring today, are we? Gotta try new things. You only live once. Yeah. I see it's still a touchy subject to her. I'll take her affogato. Affa what now? You'll see. It sounds like you need to pick me up, Anna. Yeah, I kinda do. Milk or vanilla? Yeah, vanilla. So 2 scoops of plain vanilla gelato with a drizzle of fresh espresso. You sure do love you coffee. I sure do. What about the little one? Better be chocolate. Cold. Okay, be more specific. Just give her a slushie. She needs the hydration. What flavour? Sugar. Alright, just do raspberry for now. Fine. And what about our esteemed human? Right, lemon ice cream with sprinkles, please, in a plain wafer cone. Why didn't I think of that? You forgot about the magazine questionnaire. Actually, I kinda did. A lot's happened since then. Well, you can still change your order, or order seconds, no? Maybe next time. Coming right up, though. I'm surprised you didn't try copying me. You might be an influence on me, but I'd rather not become exactly like you. Where'd the fun in that be, sweetie? That earned me a smack on the back of the head from the tip of her tail, and while she squeezed my hand and pulled me closer. Never call me that in public again, got it? Ow. Kinda deserved. All of us go silent as we watch the old dragon deftly scoop out several large orbs of creamy vanilla flavoured ice cream, neatly stacking 2 of them in the large glass cup, and 1 in a regular plain cone. He then quickly washed the ice cream scoop, knocked it against the container, and pulled a nice round of pearly white lemon flavoured one for me as well, that he placed in a second cone. I forgot to ask, chocolate or rainbow sprinkles? Let's go with rainbow. Nodding his head, he pulled up a container that looked like a comically large salt shaker, shaking about a handful of the colourful sugary pellets into my order, before wrapping both cones in paper and handing them to Remy and I. Reaching for a pair of tongs, Katsuharu pulled out an already pre-peeled and frozen banana and placed it on a small glass tray while making sure the fruit is held up by 2 scoops of plain milk flavoured ice cream, which he then proceeded to lightly drizzle with some sort of syrup and a tiny bit of rum that he then ignited with a small torch. From this display, the talk Remy and I had about using one's own flame breath to cook came to mind for me. Once the rum evaporated and the syrup was caramelised over the banana, he handed the plate over to Adine, before he pulled out a medium-sized cup and then filled it about 2/3 of the way with crushed ice, on which he drizzled about a teacup's worth of blood-red raspberry syrup that he lightly stirred with a straw before handing it to Amely. This is like the most detailed description of how to prepare some ice cream. And last but not least, all this display was just enough time for him to put a shot of espresso that he gently poured over the 2 scoops of vanilla ice cream in the glass cup that he gave to Anna. And there we have it. Enjoy, and now we know why the queue is so slow. Thank you very much. Yeah. I'm feeling a bit generous today. I'll pay. Oh, that's awfully kind of you, Anna. Are you sure you're okay with that? I could just use the council's card and do it all for us. And I'd love it if you wasted the council's money on us, but I already said I will. That's it. Ice cream. Once Anna paid for everyone's desserts, we split up 2 and 3, looking for places to sit down and enjoy our treats. I sat with Adine and Amely, while Remy and Anna moved to the side to discuss Amely privately. I'd have half a mind to eavesdrop, but I know better than to do so on such a touchy subject. So, how is the ice cream? It's absolutely silky smooth, no wonder he sells out in minutes on a good day. The sweetness of the sprinkles contrasts excellently to the faint yet noticeable sourness of the lemon. What about you? The caramelised syrup goes great with the milk, though I have to wait a bit for the banana to thaw. I can't really feel the taste of the rum though. Well, here's a flambe. The rum is mostly there just for the flames, which is generally for show and to caramelise stuff. Good thing it's like that too, because if it's any stronger, then I'd definitely have to walk home. I assume it's ill-advised to fly while intoxicated. It very much is. Not only does it throw our sense of balance out of order, if the world starts spinning, it's just trouble waiting to happen. What about you, Amely? Do you like your slushie? Tasty. I don't really know what to be more surprised by, that it's sweet enough for her without running her into a jittery hyperactive mess, or the way she's eating it. Normally you're supposed to use the straw to pull the melted ice water with syrup up, but Amely basically opened the plastic container and is using her lower jaw to just scoop up handfuls of ice, munching on the wet slush. It's both concerning and frankly adorable at the same time. After I was done with my cone, I wiped my face with a paper napkin and threw it in the appropriate bin. I'm gonna go check on Remy and Anna, so I'll be right back. Okay, go ahead. How's the atmosphere over here? As I approached, the two of them, I saw both of them were looking at the ground. Everything okay, you two? Yeah, we had a long talk about a variety of topics. Chief among them, that encounter you saw last week at the facility. Oh, you mean that on the day I gave you the cure? Yeah. Turns out Remy was trying to warn me that the council still had the target painted on my back. It seems Damien might have been leaking tips about me approaching Reza a week before you arrived. I couldn't risk giving every bit of detail away, considering the council and at the time Damien had eyes and ears everywhere, so I had to tell her in a roundabout way. Trying to be subtle isn't my strong suit, so I'm not surprised that she misunderstood my intentions. Like I said, it's the superiors that are the problem. They don't like me and the research I'm doing. They cite their traditions and values, claiming that those are what have kept us alive for so long. And while I disagree with your methods just like the rest of them, I have to commend you on the results either way. As unethical and horrifying your experiment was, I wouldn't have a daughter without your intervention. So, for the sake of peace, I'll repeat myself. I forgive you. Thanks, Remy. Well, I have to get back to work. Those samples aren't going to be working themselves into a project on their own, and I'm also down an assistant. And don't forget your part in this either. Huh? Me? I know. I'll keep my promises, as you know. You damn well better. I'll see you guys later. Bye for now, Anna. I'll see you later. Zoom. I'd say that went rather well. Indeed. I do have to admit it to you though that despite me saying I forgive her, and I truly mean it, it still hurts deep down that she used my fiance's body for an experiment at the end of the day. What she did was wholly unethical and borderline illegal. I can understand that. But for the sake of peace, and for the sake of Amely, I'm willing to move on and forget. I didn't really expect you to fully forgive and move on in the span of what, 2-3 days? Just take all the time you need. Thanks for your understanding. But the adoption process was quick. We returned to Amely and Nadine shortly afterward, whom had finally finished their portions of icy delicacies. So how'd it go? Better than expected. We talked through a few things, made amends on others, and now she's gone back to work. She's still trying to find a cure for cancer, I assume. Well, she could easily just use the PDAs and find the human version and adapt it, but I think she's going to keep doing her experiments with me to try and find her own method, and if that fails, I'll tip her off. I see. Has she ever done it, you suppose? No, thanks to Damien, she'd be unable to use what she gained from studying me, and was more worried about being jailed. So, I actually am looking forward to seeing what she would do with the data that she gets from me. I think that should be everything. Everybody ready to go? Yeah, let's go. Amely and Remy just nod their head. Where to now? I was thinking it might be time to get back home for Amely and I. It's getting somewhat late. I agree. I still have to go and do my weekly volunteer hours at the orphanage. Even though I look after Amely the most, the other kids also need my help. Then go be the nanny they all deserve. Will do. I'll see you guys later. See you soon. Hey. That's it, let's go. The three of us watched as Adine took the plates back to Katsuharu. Once she did, Adine got a running start and took off, before we all turned to each other. I should get going too. I still have some things to take care of. Good luck. And good luck to you with Amely. Now that I think about it, should I boop? Or she might bite. We're going to go for the boop. She's learned not to bite. We shall boop. Here we go. Chomp. No, didn't work. Amely. I kind of deserved that though. Still, I told her explicitly to stop biting people. It's at least not as painful as the last one. Say you're sorry right now. Excuse me. That's better. On that note, I better get going. I'll see you guys later. You too. Yeah, we deserved that. Fine. We took the hit. More free time. What should we do? I guess we'll come back in the next video and see what goes on. But that is it for now. This is Usher signing off, and hopefully I will see you next time.